This edition of Saturday Night's Main Event is finally in the books, so let's talk about. Yo, what just happened? That was weird. Okay, this edition of Saturday Night's Main Event is in the books, so oh my God, I can't keep doing this. Okay, I think you guys get the gist of it, and we'll get into that in a few seconds. Don't worry. But when it comes to Saturday Night's Main Event overall, I personally felt like it was a solid show. I have some gripes about it. I have one huge gripe about it. But even with that, I thought as a wrestling show for what it was, I thought it was a pretty solid show. So let's get into the first big gripe I have about the show. And you guys know what I'm thinking about. And that is the commercials. The commercials. Too many commercials. It felt like the actual show was a compilation of commercials, and the commercials for that show was the wrestling matches. I don't know why they do this. Now, I understand that you have to have commercials for ad revenue, but I'm wondering why WWE doesn't do the picture-on-picture, at least for some of the matches, at least for some of them. Like, when you do these full-screen commercials, are you doing that to make up for the fact that there's no advertisements on the mat? Are you doing this to try to incentivize the fans to physically go to the show to have an uninterrupted experience when it comes to these matches? Because when I'm watching it from home, these matches can never build up to where I want it to go. Because once it starts to get interesting and a commercial cuts into it, it kills the momentum for my viewing experience. So throughout the show, it's like this the entire time. I don't like all these commercials. At least if you need these commercials, as I said before, do picture on picture. Is it perfect picture in picture? No, but it's a lot better than not seeing anything on the screen at all and coming back and finding out somebody got slammed through a table or something like that. But anyway, speaking of people and tables, the first match they had on the card was between my Chicago brethren, CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth freaking Rollins and Bronze Breaker. Now, I call him Bronze Breaker because he be wearing all that bronzer. I don't know how he doesn't stain the mat, but he wears so much bronze all the time. The man is always in third place, okay? Bron, if you're watching this, I'm just playing. Leave me alone, okay? I'm a run, all right? But anyway, this tag match was one of my favorite matches of the night, and I really liked it. Outside of the commercials happening all the time and kind of killing the momentum a little bit, I thought the match itself was really good. Now, the part that I really loved about this is Bronson Reed returning and being revealed as the third member of this faction. This makes so much sense. He's a huge enforcer. I love the fact that they have something for him to do. This is going to be great. Now, the part that I'm very confused about is the fact that Bronson Reed tried to murder Seth Rollins in their feud on live TV in front of millions of people. He wanted to get his own Netflix special, and now all of a sudden, him and Seth Rollins are embracing each. Seth is embracing this guy, hugging this guy. So it's like, why is this happening? I'm assuming that Paul Heyman has something to do with this because it looks like Bron Breakker had no idea this was going to happen because he looked like he was about to tear that man apart until Seth Rollins came between the two men and gave Bronson Reed a hug. So they got to really explain what's going on here. Hopefully it makes a lot of sense. If they just say Paul Heyman made the decision without the knowledge of Bron Breakker, I think that'll be interesting because maybe that'll start to create the little, cracks in Bron Breakker's, allegiance to this faction. So later on down the line, when he does turn on them, that'll be great for later on for him. So the next match we have on the card is for the Women's United States Championship between our current champion, Stelina Vega, versus Chelsea Green. Yo, I'm never doing that again. But anyway, the match overall, it was pretty solid for what it was. And I absolutely love Zelina Vega's in-ring attire. They're having a Todoroki hair as usual, but also having the All Might inspired in-ring attire. I mean, her love for My Hero Academia has no bounds. And personally, I love when wrestlers come out and have anime and comic book inspired in-ring gear. We're not really getting that lately. Ricochet used to do that a lot, but he's not in WWE. Johnny Gargano used to do that a lot, but he's a heel. Haven't seen Jade Cargill do it anymore, and New Day used to do it a lot, but they're heels now too. So Zelina Vega seems to be the person who's holding it down for the anime community. So salute to her for that. But overall, I thought the match was pretty solid. We had some botches here and there. Of course, when Zelina Vega went for the 619, she got tied up in the ropes a little bit. And I believe that spot is what smashed Chelsea Green's nose and caused her to leak just everywhere. Now, you can say what you want about the women, but these women are tough. They tough, okay? We saw what happened to Lyra Valkyria. When it comes to these women in the mid-card, they will bleed and keep wrestling. Lyra had a bloody nose, kept wrestling through her match at Backlash with Becky Lynch, and now we see Chelsea Green doing this. So These women are tough, but this match overall was pretty solid. The next match we had on the card was between John Cena and R-Truth. So I'm not going to lie to you guys. Going into this match and watching the match, I didn't take this seriously at all. I knew exactly what this match was going to be, and it was exactly that. It was a comedy sketch that felt like it had a wrestling match within it, and I loved every second of it. R-Truth coming out with the Ron Cena t-shirt on, doing the John Cena entrance was hilarious. Him going into the ring, hitting John Cena with the attitude adjustment, with the STF, hitting him with the 5-knuckle shuffle. All of that was amazing, and it's just displayed why R-Truth is the GOAT when it comes to comedy. When it comes to WWE, he is goated. Every time he gets a part of anything, is comedy gold. Now, from that perspective, I absolutely loved it. As a wrestling match, you know, if you take it too seriously, you probably wouldn't enjoy it at all. But it was very interesting to see John Cena attempt to hit him with the belt, but he decided not to and opted in kicking a man in the nuts, and that was it. Now, I thought John Cena would have destroyed him after the match was over to get a little bit more heel heat, but he did something else to try to garner that a little bit later, and we'll talk about that next. So the next match we had on the card was a steel cage match between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. Now, I was really looking forward to this match for a couple of reasons. For one, I love this feud between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. I'm a huge fan of matches that we just hate each other and is on site every opportunity that we get, and Drew McIntyre seems to be a master of those type of feuds. And the other thing was, I was curious to see how they were going to fit a steel cage match in a 2-hour show with 5 million commercials and 5 matches on the card, but they found a way to do that. I'm kind of impressed by that. And the match itself, I thought it was very enjoyable. It was brutal, it was hard hitting, it was enjoyable. But I thought that Drew McIntyre was actually going to win this match. Even though I know he won at WrestleMania, I thought that maybe he can end one of his feuds in the cage with him on the winning side, but that didn't happen here. We saw the spot that happened at the end of the match where Damian Priest hit the man with the concerto, and that spot was so nasty. It was so brutal. When you see the chair that Damian Priest has and he slaps the top of Drew McIntyre's head, you see it bounce off the back of his skull and you see his head bouncing off the mat. It just looks ridiculous. You can't pay me enough to take that spot. I'm hoping they had a little bit of padding under Drew McIntyre's hair. I don't know how they would get away with that just to soften the blow, but either way, it just looked messed up. Now, from what I understand, people are saying that Drew McIntyre is dealing with some type of neck injury, and maybe this was a way to just write him off the show. Now, if that was the case, that makes sense to me, but you heard Jesse Ventura tonight. He wasn't too happy about that ending. I was hoping Drew McIntyre would win, but if he's dealing with an injury, because he's been getting injured a lot in this feud, I hope he gets better. You know, we're going to miss Drew McIntyre. He has been a workhorse and a vital part of WWE at this point in time, and that's one less heel you're going to have on TV when it comes to SmackDown, which really sucks for that brand. But I thought this match was really, really good. So eventually we see Jey Uso walking backstage and he comes across John Cena and they have an exchange of words where Jey Uso is like, hey, you the one I eliminated at Royal Rumble. But John Cena then says something that's very, very vital. He says, imagine you losing your title to a YouTuber. That would ruin wrestling, would it? And as we know, John Cena has been saying he's going to try to ruin wrestling. I don't think he's been trying too hard to do that, but it seemed like this time around, he's very adamant about doing it. And that played a big role in this match that we got as the main event. And that was Jey Uso versus Logan Paul for the World Heavyweight Championship. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I think this match was actually pretty good. One of my favorite matches from Jey Uso as the champion currently. And they did a tremendous job in the ring. I really did. I know people are going to downplay it. I get it. You don't like Logan Paul. But honestly, I thought this was a great match for Jey Uso. Now, as far as John Cena saying what he said before, as you probably know, or you saw the match, or you probably could tell from what I said, he came out and attacked Jey Uso. And then lo and behold, returning the Super Saiyan pastor, Cody Rhodes, coming out with the Houston Texan cheerleader jacket once again. Coming out, I love Cody Rhodes. Coming out there to help Jey Uso. This obviously sets up the match between them two, or them four, at Money in the Bank. John Cena and Logan Paul versus Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes. Now, there's been rumors saying that possibly, I'm about to throw up just saying it, Travis Scott may get added to this match to be a part of John Cena's side, and Jimmy may be a part of Jey Uso's side. I don't want that to happen. Just keep the tag match as it is, and I think it'll be fun just to see it that way. We don't need to see Travis Scott. I don't hate Travis Scott, but he really was only here for the whole thing with The Rock. Outside of that, I don't really care about seeing him in the ring. But overall, I thought Saturday night's main event was pretty solid. I liked it. If I had to give it a grade, I would definitely give it Somewhere between a B minus, honestly. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. What was your favorite match? What was your favorite moment? I would love to hear what you have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching. Salute, peace.